Never ever let anyone tell you the biggest ideas win. Because sometimes the small mistake is the one that kills you. Imagine being on top of the world, untouchable, then waking up one day to see your kingdom gone. That's what happened to MySpace. And the reason Facebook beat them wasn't some magic. It was $1 billion oversight. I want to take you into a story tonight. A story of ambition, rivalry, arrogance, and a twist so sharp it still gives chills. At the end, you'll see how the fall of MySpace holds a lesson for every startup, tech giant, or creator out there. It's 2005. MySpace is everything. You're a 16-year-old music nerd, and your profile is your identity. What songs you play, what background you use, which friends you pick as your top 8. The world calls it the social network of artists, of youth. It grows so fast that Rupert Murdoch's News Corp pays $580 million to buy it. You meet Tom. He's a default friend, the face of MySpace. He swings by her profile, says, "What's up?" It's casual but iconic. Meanwhile, in a dorm at Harvard, Mark Zuckerberg is scribbling ideas. Something simpler, cleaner, fewer distractions. Let me take you deeper. You're in the MySpace offices in 2006. It's a sunny afternoon in Beverly Hills, and the air is thick with caffeine, ambition, and the sound of fingers hammering on keyboards. Every monitor glows with lines of code, music widgets, and user profiles. The office is an open floor, a mix of coders in hoodies, designers with spiked hair and graphic tees, and marketers pacing around with flip phones glued to their ears. There's this electric feeling that you're building something historic. Someone yells across the room, "We just hit 75 million users." The place erupts in cheers. Another developer punches the air. Someone claps. In the corner, a team lead laughs and says, "Facebook who?" Everyone chuckles. You're on top of the world, and you know it. You sip your third cup of coffee, eyes glued to your screen. You're tweaking the new custom layout feature. Users are begging for more control. They want their profiles to look unique, expressive, chaotic even. And you love it. MySpace is art in motion. It's rebellion. It's every kid's corner of the internet to show off who they are. You can almost feel that teenage energy radiating through every profile. The glittery backgrounds, the flashy GIFs, the blaring songs that autoplay the moment someone visits a page. There's a sense of freedom that feels unstoppable. Someone beside you laughs. Scroll into a profile that looks like a digital rave, flashing pink text, spinning skulls, and a looping Linkin Park track. "People are crazy creative," he says. You grin. "That's what makes us different," you reply, and you mean it. Facebook looks sterile, like a white hospital page. MySpace feels alive. It's wild, personal, unpredictable. But in the corner of your mind, or maybe deep in the office chatter, there's a faint whisper, something that doesn't feel right. The servers have been struggling. You know it. You've been seeing the logs. Traffic spikes are brutal. Pages are taking longer to load. Some crash entirely. You've been getting bug reports stacked higher than you can read. One says, "Profile not loading." Another, "Music player freezes." Another, "Login takes forever." You sigh, dragging another folder into your test environment. Just a temporary bug, you tell yourself. You push a fix, but each fix creates 2 more issues. The system feels messy, tangled, like spaghetti. Every new feature depends on an old one that was never properly cleaned up. The CSS files are thousands of lines long. The HTML is patched together with duct tape logic. And deep inside, you know the code base is turning into something no one fully understands anymore. Still, there's no time to pause. The executives keep pushing. "We need to add more ad slots," one says during the morning stand-up. "Revenue's looking good, but we can double it." Another adds, "Users want embedded videos now. We can't fall behind YouTube." So you build it. You cram another feature into the existing mess. You test it, sort of. It works, but only just. Pages slowed down again. Ads flicker before loading. The music player takes a second longer to buffer. But no one upstairs seems to care. It's the cost of growth. Your manager says, tapping your shoulder, "We'll clean it up later." You nod, even though deep down you know later never comes in tech. By late afternoon, You're walking past Tom Anderson's office, the famous Tom from MySpace. He's talking to a journalist. MySpace is about giving users freedom. You overhear him saying, "We don't tell them how to express themselves. We just give them the tools." You smile again. You believe in that vision. The freedom is the magic. But the engineer in you, the part that knows how systems collapse, starts to feel uneasy. You've seen code like this before, but never at this scale. At your desk, another developer groans. "Why does this stupid script keep breaking the layout?" he mutters. You glance at his screen. A user has pasted in a broken snippet of code from a MySpace template site. The page is mangled beyond recognition, because users can literally paste anything you tell him. He shrugs. That's what they want, right? And that's the thing. It is what they want. But it's also what's slowly killing the site. The marketing team sends an email. "We need to launch this next feature ASAP. Facebook's testing a clean new interface. We need to stay loud, big, and fun." You stare at the words "stay loud." It echoes in your head. That's MySpace's brand, loud, flashy, crowded, alive. But maybe it's too loud, too crowded. You open your own profile later that night, just a test. The background loads in patches. The ads take over half the screen. The music starts, but out of sync. You try to scroll. It lags. You look at the console. 27 errors. Still, you push through. You're proud of the chaos. You convince yourself it's beautiful in its own messy way. That's the price of success, you whisper under your breath, half joking. But that night, you can't shake the thought. If this keeps going, one day the chaos won't be charming. It'll be unbearable. One day, people won't laugh when their page crashes. They'll just close the tab and open something smoother. And far away, in a quiet dorm room at Harvard, someone's building exactly that. Something clean, something fast, something that never crashes. You don't know it yet, but in that moment, the downfall has already begun. For now, though, you're still the king of the internet. Your logo is everywhere. Your user count keeps rising. You're making millions in ad revenue. Every teenager wants to be on MySpace. Bands are begging to be featured. Celebrities are joining. It feels unstoppable. The team celebrates another milestone with pizza and beer. "We're changing the world," someone shouts. The office echoes with laughter, and you almost believe it. But beneath the cheers, the servers keep humming, louder, slower, heavier, like they're warning you of something you can't see yet. The code keeps twisting, layering, choking itself with every new line added in haste. You lean back in your chair, rub your eyes, and save your latest patch. Another feature done. Another bug waiting to happen. Outside, the sun setting over Los Angeles. The office lights glow against the windows. For now, everything looks perfect. But deep down, buried beneath thousands of lines of code, the cracks have already started to form. Meanwhile, over at Facebook, things couldn't be more different. You open the site, and everything just works. There's no glitter text, no embedded playlist that crash your browser, no flashy pop-ups begging for clicks. It's all clean, minimal. The layout is the same for everyone, white, blue, and calm. The buttons always sit in the same place. The feed scrolls smoothly. You can find your friends instantly. You post, you comment, you like. That's it. Nothing feels broken. Nothing feels forced. It's almost boring at first, but it's reliable. And that reliability is addictive. Mark Zuckerberg and his small team know exactly what they're doing. They're obsessed with one thing: simplicity. Every feature goes through rounds of testing before it touches a user. The design team debates spacing, fonts, color shades, not for beauty, but for function. If people don't have to think, they'll stay longer, Mark tells them during a meeting. It's a philosophy that feels almost too simple, yet it's working. Facebook loads faster than any social site on the internet at that time. Users don't have to customize anything. They just show up, and everything feels consistent. Back at MySpace headquarters in Los Angeles, the energy is different. The office is still buzz, but the buzz has an edge now, a nervous one. Growth is slowing. Users are complaining, and internal bugs are piling up. The site feels heavy. Yet on paper, everything still looks fine. Ad revenue is climbing. Traffic is huge. It's hard to convince anyone at the top that something's wrong. A meeting is called. It's mid-morning, and the conference room smells of coffee and dry erase markers. Around the long wooden table sit MySpace's key executives, product managers, ad directors, engineers, even a few people from News Corp, the parent company that bought MySpace for $500 million. Laptops are open. Charts glow on the big screen. One executive starts. We're seeing slower page load times. We need to clean up, streamline, maybe tone down custom profiles, reduce ad clutter, optimize the back end. He clicks to a slide showing data. Load times up by 20%, user complaints rising. We're losing patience from new users. They visit once, the page takes forever, they bounce. Another exec, the ad guy, leans forward. If we reduce ads, we lose revenue. You know how much we're pulling in right now? Tens of millions a month. The music labels love us. The brands love us. We can't cut that. A younger engineer chimes in quietly. But the ads are part of what's slowing us down. We're loading 3 times more scripts than Facebook. The room falls silent for a moment. Then another voice breaks in. The marketing director. Facebook's too plain. Their site looks like homework. Ours feels alive. That's what users love. If we take that away, we lose our soul. Across the table, someone mutters, "Our soul is making the servers choke." There's an awkward laugh, but the tension is real. The divide in the room is growing clearer by the minute. On one side are the developers and designers who want structure, performance, and focus. On the other side are the business and marketing people who see MySpace as a cash machine, an ad-driven empire that thrives on chaos and color. Finally, the CEO, Krista Wolf, speaks up, calm, confident, but firm. Listen, we're not Facebook. They're a college network. We're global. We're music, creativity, individuality. Our users expect freedom. They don't want clean lines and empty spaces. They want expression. That's why they're here. The engineer starts to respond, but the CEO cuts him off. We can fix speed later. Right now, we focus on growth. We have the audience, the money, and the momentum. Let's not kill what makes MySpace special. The room nods. The meeting ends with a plan. Not to simplify, not to fix, but to push harder. More features, more ads, more partnerships. The ad director leaves smiling. The engineers leave silent. As the team walks back to their desks, one developer mutters under his breath, "We just chose chaos." And across the country, Facebook servers hum quietly. Fast, organized, untouched by clutter. Each new user who joins never has to deal with lag, bugs, or confusion. They just sign in, scroll, and stay. In that moment, neither company knows it, but that single meeting at MySpace, that one decision to favor freedom over function, just gave Facebook everything it needed to win. So instead, MySpace piles on more ads, more third-party modules, more customization options, each one slower than the last. They double down on music, entertainment, being edgy. They try to buy Spotify. They try to build a streaming platform. All the while, Facebook just keeps working. Now, picture 2 users, 2008. Emma is on MySpace. Her profile has auto-playing music, a blazing background, friend widgets, custom code. Her brother's Internet Explorer freezes and crashes trying to load it. She sighs, closes a tab. Jake is on Facebook. He logs in after class, still holding his half-finished coffee, and within seconds, his feed is there, clean, simple, organized. No loud background music blasting through his speakers. No flashing GIFs or broken image links. Just his friends' posts, photos from last night's party, a few comments, and a new friend request waiting at the top right corner. He scrolls. Everything flows smoothly. Each post loads instantly. Each like registers without delay. The page doesn't freeze. His laptop fan doesn't spin up like it's about to take off. It's calm. It's seamless. And for the first time, social media feels effortless. Across town, Emma opens her MySpace profile. She waits. 1 second. 2. The background begins to load, then then stalls halfway. A rainbow of HTML-coded chaos flickers on the screen, a glittering pink background, embedded YouTube videos that refuse to play, overlapping text boxes, and a song that starts blaring automatically, completely out of sync. She sighs. Her laptop stutters. The cursor lags. She clicks to close one of the pop-up ads, but another slides in to replace it. She rolls her eyes. This site used to be fun, she mutters. A few years ago, she spent hours perfecting this page, picking the right background, choosing her top 8 friends, making sure her profile song said something about who she was. Now, it just feels heavy, cluttered, and exhausting. Meanwhile, Jake's already posting his first Facebook status. Trying out this new site. Pretty cool so far. Within minutes, a few friends comment. Oh, yeah, I'm on there too. Add me. It's way cleaner than MySpace. That's how it starts. Quiet, almost invisible. One friend invites another, then another, then a dozen more. Within a month, Jake's friend list doubles. His feed becomes a living diary of everyone's life. Photos, jokes, updates. No profile customization needed. No code to edit. Just people. And that's Facebook's silent weapon. The focus on connection, not decoration. Emma starts noticing it. 2. She messages her best friend on MySpace. But days go by without a reply. Then she checks Facebook, curious. There they are, her best friend, her classmates, even her favorite local band. All active, posting, sharing. The energy she once felt on MySpace has shifted. The crowd has moved. One evening, she logs into MySpace again. The site feels slower than ever. Ads clutter the top banner. Music players fail to load. Her inbox is full of spammy messages from random accounts. The thrill is gone. Then she does what millions are quietly doing. She opens a new tab, types facebook.com, and signs up. The shift happens so gradually that MySpace executives don't even feel it first. Their traffic reports still look massive. Millions of daily visitors. The ad money keeps flowing. But somewhere in the data, a subtle change is happening. Time on site is dropping. Return visits are dipping. User engagement is down. In the office, analysts bring it up during meetings. Users aren't staying as long, one says. They're visiting fewer profiles. Seasonal slump, an executive replies. It'll bounce back. But it doesn't. By 2008, the decline is visible. People aren't customizing profiles like they used to. The top 8 feature, once a badge of social status, is barely mentioned. The site feels like a ghost of its old self. New users sign up, but most never come back after a few visits. The forums grow quiet. The music section loses traction. Meanwhile, Facebook is exploding. It's not just for college students anymore. It's opening to everyone. Parents, teachers, even older relatives are signing up. The brand that once felt small and nerdy now feels universal. And while MySpace tries to compete by adding new flashy features, Facebook doubles down on one thing: simplicity. Jake barely remembers the last time he logged into MySpace. He doesn't miss it. Facebook has everything he needs: friends, messages, photos, events. It's not about showing off anymore. It's about keeping up. It feels real human. Emma feels the same. One day she finally clicks delete account on MySpace. The confirmation message pops up. Are you sure you want to delete your profile? She doesn't even hesitate. She clicks yes. At that exact moment, thousands of others around the world are doing the same thing. The exodus has begun. In MySpace's analytics room, the charts start to look strange. Growth curves that once shot upward are now flattening. Engagement lines dip. The traffic heat maps, once burning red across North America and Europe, begin to cool into orange and yellow. Someone in the data team whispers, Facebook's numbers are overtaking ours. At first, no one believes it. MySpace had been the largest social network on Earth. It was the internet's hangout spot. The idea that another company, especially one with such a plain interface, could surpass it feels ridiculous. But in May 2009, the reports make it official. Facebook has overtaken MySpace in unique US visitors. The news hits like a gut punch. The office is quiet. Executives stare at the numbers in disbelief. Some try to spin it. It's just temporary, one says. Maybe it's a fluke. But deep down, everyone knows it isn't. Facebook has done something MySpace never could. It made social networking invisible. It removed the noise, the clutter, the endless choices. It focused on speed, on function, on keeping people scrolling. Jake and Emma, like millions of others, are now fully immersed in Facebook's ecosystem. Every event, every conversation, every memory starts there. MySpace becomes a punchline, a nostalgia trip. Once upon a time, MySpace ruled the internet. But by 2009, it's no longer the cool kid. It's a forgotten one. And all it took was one tiny difference. Facebook cared about experience, while MySpace chased expression. That simple contrast, smooth versus messy, focus versus freedom, was enough to shift the world's attention forever. As Jake refreshes his Facebook feed, seeing new posts pop up in seconds, he doesn't think about it. He doesn't realize he's part of a revolution that just ended an era. And on the other side of that screen, MySpace slowly fades into digital history. Its page is still glittering, still loud, but with no one left to look. Inside MySpace, panic sets in. They scramble to redesign, to clean up, to modernize. But every change breaks something. Developers hate working with a mess. Releases are buggy. Users complain. And worst of all, the user base is already drifting. There's a moment, 2011, when MySpace sells for a fraction of what was bought for, $35 million. Think about that. Bought for $580 million. Sold years later for $35 million. That's not failure by small margin. That's collapse. Now, let me show you the core mistake. The oversight that cost them everything. It wasn't that MySpace was ugly or poorly run. It was that they believed technical debt and chaos were a trade-off worth paying for customization and ad revenue. They ignored the fact that speed, simplicity, and reliability become more important as you scale. They ignored the user's attention as a finite resource. Meanwhile, Facebook's playbook was elegant, ruthless, even, but brilliant in its simplicity. Control the environment, limit customization, enforce uniformity, minimize distractions, scale the system. Facebook didn't want chaos. It wanted consistency. Every profile looked the same, loaded fast, and worked seamlessly across every browser. The team knew that people didn't actually want to design their online homes. They just wanted to live in them. So Facebook made the home for them. The difference in philosophies couldn't be clearer. MySpace celebrated individuality. Every user could be a designer, a coder, a DJ, a visual artist. Facebook, on the other hand, stripped that away. It told users, we'll handle the layout. You focus on the content. And surprisingly, people loved it. It wasn't about how your page looked anymore. It was about what your friends were saying, doing, liking, and sharing. Every design choice at Facebook was intentional. The blue and white color scheme wasn't random. It was calm, focused, easy on the eyes. Pages loaded instantly. Photos appeared neatly. You didn't need to worry that someone's glittering background or auto-playing song would crash your browser. There were no flashing GIFs, no overlapping text boxes. Just clarity, just connection. In the MySpace offices, that clarity was becoming a nightmare to replicate. The platform had grown so fast that its foundation had turned into digital quicksand. Layers of old code stacked on top of newer patches. Ads wedged into every spare pixel. Developers tried to optimize, but every fix caused something else to break. It was like repairing an airplane mid-flight, while the passengers were throwing glitter and JavaScript at the windows. There's a moment, one that insiders still talk about, when the MySpace executives sat around a long glass table in Los Angeles, reviewing reports of site crashes and declining engagement. The charts on the screen told the story. Average load times were rising. User retention was falling. We can fix it, one executive said confidently, trying to rally the room. We'll refactor the platform. Another added, we'll rebuild from scratch if we have to. But the words hung heavy in the air, because everyone knew what that meant. Months, maybe years of work. Millions of dollars. A total pause in growth. Something the CEO wasn't willing to consider. Refactor? someone scoffed quietly. While Facebook stealing our users, that's suicide. The problem wasn't just code, it was culture. MySpace had been bought by News Corporation in 2005 for $580 million. Suddenly, it wasn't a scrappy startup anymore. It was a media empire's shiny new toy. The focus shifted from community to monetization. Every inch of the page became a billboard. More ads, more clutter, more deals with music labels, TV networks, and brands. MySpace was supposed to be the place for creativity and self-expression, but it started feeling like a noisy shopping mall. Meanwhile, Facebook stayed quiet. No ads, at least not at first. No celebrity takeovers. No clutter, just a simple wall, a news feed, and a friend request button. Every decision was deliberate. Every line of code meant to make interaction frictionless. As MySpace struggled to clean its house, Facebook built a mansion on solid ground. Their engineers focused on scalability. Databases that could handle billions of posts, photo systems that loaded faster than anyone thought possible, and infrastructure so clean that adding new features was seamless. When Facebook introduced the news feed in 2006, users were initially outraged. "We don't want everyone seeing everything we do," they cried. But Facebook stayed firm. They knew something MySpace didn't. Outrage fades, habits stick. By 2008, Facebook had something MySpace could only dream of: momentum. Universities, then high schools, then everyone. The platform grew not because of flashy design or celebrity endorsements, but because of something far simpler: trust. It felt reliable, professional, safe. Inside MySpace's walls, that reliability was a ghost they couldn't chase. Every new feature they released seemed to push users away instead of bringing them back. Their developers were overworked, the executives overconfident. Meetings grew tense. Reports came in daily about slowing signups, lagging servers, and user frustration. And yet they kept saying, "We can fix it." But fixing meant facing the truth. The very freedom that made MySpace magical was also the reason it was collapsing. You can almost picture that one late-night meeting. The developers staring at their monitors, lines of code blurring together, knowing deep down that the ship was sinking. Facebook wasn't just a competitor anymore. It was evolution. MySpace had been the digital Wild West, a colorful, chaotic burst of creativity. But Facebook came with civilization, order, structure, and efficiency. And once users tasted that smooth, controlled experience, there was no going back. So when the execs said, "We'll rebuild," the words rang hollow. Because rebuilding meant admitting they'd lost the race. Not innovation, but the simplicity. It meant realizing that while they were busy decorating their digital rooms, Facebook was building an empire of human connection. And by the time they understood that, the exodus was complete. Then imagine the climax, mid-2008. MySpace is desperate. Their engineers are working around the clock. They attempt to launch a new UI, streamline the resident code, but it's too late. Facebook's growth has reached a tipping point. Social proof takes over. Everyone's there now. MySpace's attempt to catch up feels like patching a sinking ship with duct tape. The more they patch, the more leaks open elsewhere. In the years that follow, MySpace fades. It becomes a niche music site. Many features break or disappear entirely. In 2019, a server migration lost 12 years of music that users uploaded before 2015. In 2012, the FTC penalizes MySpace for privacy violations. They admitted to sharing identifiable user data with advertisers, violating their own promises. Now, MySpace is a shell of its former self, once a titan, now a whisper. So what's the lesson? First, never underestimate technical debt. What seems like a small shortcut in the early days compounds into unmanageable chaos later. Second, user experience simplicity. Performance matter more than features and customization in the long run. Third, scale favors constraint. When you get big, you can't let every user rewrite your structure. You need rules, limits, guardrails. Finally, competition doesn't wait. The world doesn't give you time to re-engineer your way out of a crumbling code base. If MySpace had paused, cleaned up, refactored, simplified, maybe they'd still be around. But their biggest mistake was believing they could outrun the mess. I want you to think, if you're building anything, a startup, a side project, a brand, where are your messy corners? Where are your spaghettified parts you're ignoring? Because the MySpace story shows what happens when those corners collapse. Let me end with this. MySpace didn't lose because Facebook was perfect. It lost because it ignored its own foundations, the very things that once made it great. MySpace was built on creativity, individuality, and the power of community. It gave people their first taste of personal branding long before influencer was even a word. But as it grew, it forgot what users actually wanted: connection, stability, and ease. Instead of reinforcing those pillars, MySpace buried them under clutter, ads, and technical debt. The experience became slower, messier, and more commercialized with every update. The site that once felt alive started to feel broken. And while MySpace was trying to squeeze revenue out of its traffic, Facebook was building trust. It was quiet, clean, and dependable. It didn't overwhelm users. It simply worked. That's how revolutions happen. Not with fireworks, but with focus. Facebook didn't beat MySpace because it had more features. It won because it had clarity. It knew exactly what it wanted users to do: log in, connect, share, repeat, and it built everything around that single goal. MySpace, on the other hand, tried to be everything for everyone and ended up being nothing for anyone. Its downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow erosion caused by neglect, ego, and a refusal to evolve when it mattered most. So when people say Facebook killed MySpace, that's only half true. MySpace killed itself by abandoning what worked and refusing to fix what didn't. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. Deep dives into the rise and fall of digital empires and the lessons behind every click, every code line, every missed opportunity. Because in the world of tech, small oversights can become catastrophic failures. What do you think would have happened if MySpace had braced up to realities? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to comment and share with people passionate about the inner happenings of the tech world.